Hey everyone, it's Kenlin, and this is the eclipse update. We're not even halfway through, and like shit's hitting the fan, and there's a lot of shit hitting the fan in the relationship sector. And so I'm going to talk a bit about that. I've already had a video on YouTube about it, but there's some new things that have come to light, and I want to just highlight and presence those things as part of the collective movement. So, first of all, we know that we're in the Aries Libra axes, and that's why the eclipses are in this axis, because that's where the North Node and the South Node are. And these eclipses follow the nodes. And so we just had last Sunday the Libra full moon release mechanism. So releasing the shadows in the Libra mansion. So the Libra mansion is about relationships. What are the shadows? It's about also equality, fairness. Those are some of the high sides of Libra. But the lower sides of Libra are about codependency. That's like the biggest one everyone is citing. And I think we have so much codependency in the way that we have relationships in our culture. It's in our songs, it's in our TV shows, it's in our movies. If you sing like "I'm not complete without you," I mean, that's total bullshit. But somehow we've twisted that means that I love you. And that's just really a very young, childlike state, very imago projected onto the good parent as your partner. And we get to wake up from that dream. Their partner is not the parent. And so all the inner child work we've been doing, I mean, good on us, because the partner is not the parent. And so often our attractions are to the parent we are most wounded by. There's a whole thing about that. So yeah, I've been sick, and I've been reading my emails in bed. And so one of the emails I came up to was from an astrologer I follow, and he was talking as a social critic about Andrew Huberman and his podcast. And there was an article he referenced that came out 3 days ago from the New York Magazine, where Andrew Huberman was like a look behind the scenes, and he was accused of lying, being inauthentic, and gaslighting at least 6 women, and one of whom was his committed partner. So those kinds of behaviors from a person who has a persona as a very different type of human are not being tolerated. And I happen to know that he is a Libra Sun. So isn't that interesting? A Libra Sun, somewhere this full moon was probably right on his ass, right in the in the probably some house of reputation. And I think that's really a good thing. And it can occur when it first happens as mortifying and horrifying, especially if you're ambitious and you want people to like you, which is kind of all of us want people to like us. But, sometimes we unconsciously blow shit up, like trying to manage 6 people and lie to them, all of them. Because we really want the truth to come out. It's so stressful to hold lies. It's so stressful to be dishonest. It's so stressful to have a chasm between who you are public facing and who you are behind the scenes. No one is perfect. And yet, when you're in a public role, people project onto you. And so whatever isn't clean, you think about the moon, right? The sun lighting up the moon in the full moon, spotlighting everything. That's what a full moon does. It's the public. So with this person, the full moon was spotlighting the place where he was out of integrity. And that's really what this axis in relationship, Aries and Libra, is all about. Come clean in your relationships. And relationships are just not standing the test of this eclipse and this nodal axis right now. And some of that isn't because it's bad. Some of it is because the contract has expired. And I think that's because we're becoming new people. When I put it through my lens of the feminine rising and leadership of the divine feminine, we can't be leaders if we're in codependent patterns, if we still embody the patriarchy. And we do, because we've had 6,000 years of programming embodying the patriarchy. And so it's everywhere. It's in our religion, for God's sake. It's in our history books. Do you know how many women's history is out? Like Kathleen McGowan's book on Anne Boleyn. That's not what I was taught in humanities. Well, there's a whole story there that everyone has sought to hide. Those in power have sought to hide, and those stories are coming out. So we as the divine feminine, if we are to rise, if we are to wake up, if we are to lead, we really get to detox that patriarchy out of us. And I've been through my own detox process of patriarchal relationships. I'm going to call them patriarchal sex, patriarchal relationships. And as the feminine, we know where our power has been. Like, we know where we can get power, and we've used it through our bodies, through our, ability to seduce, and all kinds of other ways, whatever, having a child. We've used our power. So it's time to come clean on our use of power so that we can actually use power appropriately. And that when we are governing and leading and guiding, we are not who we despise. That really the slate is wiped clean on that old programming. I don't know if I'll see it in my lifetime, but I'm a stand for it. And I'm enrolled in being that kind of person, because I see that otherwise the world just keeps, meting out childhood woundings. Like, I want my mommy, I want my daddy. And we've all done a lot of inner child work, or not all, but if you're listening to this, you've done a lot of inner child work. And so it's time to regard your partner as a human being and to have authentic, clear conversations. And it starts with the Aries North Node. It starts with, but who am I? If I don't love myself, I can't have those conversations. If someone threatens that, I can't walk away. I have to beg and plead or try to get them to stay or cover over their bullshit. No, actually, I don't. When I love myself enough that I am whole and complete as I am, then I can relate with others. And that's the beauty of what's happening. So a lot of grace and love and prayers to all of us who are going through this, the depth of this transformation. Trust that it's actually really, really good, because who we all get to be on the other side of it is an evolutionary feminine leader. All right, I'll see you on the next eclipse video.